Hello everyone, welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight. Robert Spotlight. Robert Spotlight. Robert Spotlight. Robert Spotlight.
Doing all this moderation stuff for Discord.
I'm a social media futurist.
Instead of moderator, I'd be friends.
Now it's my project because I love sports.
I'm speaking at NFT NYC.
Welcome on the show. Welcome everyone and welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight. Robert Spotlight today, Posty. Posty, welcome on the show.
Thank you, Robert, for having me. Much appreciated.
Great. Thank you. Thank you to be here. So, Posty, could you present yourself for people that don't know you?
So I am a bit of a creative advisor for a range of NFT projects. I also put out thought-provoking ideas around philosophy and blockchain, as well as I provoke thought and just create cool stuff that people will enjoy, but also at the same time. Sorry, what was that, Robert?
No, sorry, because I just lost your audio, so I didn't know if that was on my side or on your side.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I create creative thought-provoking things around either political things or not just political, but also ideology that helps hopefully helps to convey messages and push people to act or to question their thoughts.
Okay, so basically you force discussion about the establishment, right?
Yes, that's essentially, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that makes a lot of sense that you are strong on the decentralization. So
yes, I'm very much decentralization, socialism, and a range of these things. But as we'll get into in a bit, I'm guessing I'm a little bit over decentralization in the sense that I don't think it can solve every problem. It's great, but we can't just have, it's not perfect. It's an ideology, but yeah.
Okay, perfect. So before jumping right into the decentralization, could you kind of give a little background about when you discover the decentralized world?
So I jumped into crypto and that in 2021 or 2020. I really jumped in after having found that things like stocks and seeing stocks be so easily manipulated by other markets that there was a need for it. But also I was on the outside for a while, and then I the core concepts of having having some kind of decentralized internet and all these different things just appealed to me. All the technology was there. It was just more so I was hanging on the outside in the sense that I didn't trust putting my money there. I was happy to be involved, but otherwise it was what's the point? Let's actually do something.
All right. And what was your aha moment, basically, about Web3? Because you say that you went into it close to 2020 or 2021, but what was the aha moment?
That's a good question. Aha moment. Uh, there would be a few things. Firstly, is the ease of sending digital money via Ethereum. Like, I remember the first time I sent say an NFT as well as crypto to a mate, because like we'd borrowed money off each other or something like that, and it was so much faster than like normal bank transfers. And that was really the first aha moment. But like, in terms of aha moments, like there are many. Like fractionalization, that to me really was an aha moment.
Okay, perfect. So it's like the first time that you have been able to transfer kind of exchange of money between you and someone close to you without the help of a bank. That is the first time, and the second time it's about fractionalization. And could you go deeper on that? What was the use case? What was the story behind it?
Behind fractionalization, yeah. So with that, it was like the idea of being able to actually easily have multiple people who govern or own one object. So say like you have a rare piece of art like the Mona Lisa, or you have something else, you can easily have that split up among a range of holders per se. But also the governance then like that then led down to me getting more into DAOs and that kind of stuff. And that was really, it became more than just an aha. It was an aha and oh damn, there's this as well.
Okay, perfect. Great. Makes sense. So there's two things. So the exchange of value without a middleman, a central middleman, and the fact that to have a several holder around an asset. So it was really the armament for you, and maybe the trigger point into the rabbit hole of Web3.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Regarding decentralization, what is your thought about decentralization, and are we close to that?
Or close to decentralization? What I'm curious, Robert. What do you call decentralization?
But in fact, you know, my view today, I can be wrong, but it's my own view. It's we talk a lot about decentralization, but my perspective is what I'm really looking to. It's centralization built on top of decentralization. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and I think there's you can have that, but like at the end of the day, that isn't real decentralization.
It's my point, yes.
But yes, no, I see your point. I see your point completely, and I would say that like it's useful in some aspects. Like it is great what we have, but there's things that it can't do for the moment that real decentralization can solve per se. But I don't think we will reach those things.
Okay. And what are the kind of the on the market, from a market perspective? What are the things that are done that, in for you, are in the good direction for decentralization?
Oh, can you say that one again, Robert?
Yeah, sorry. So my question is, with your perspective on the market, you know, what are the movement or the approach that some project or some technologies is going on the good direction for a real decentralization? in your
Oh,
perspective?
what kind of? Oh, okay. What kind of projects are pushing the bounds of decentralization?
Yes, exactly. Correct.
I look. I really like Ethereum, 100%. I think at the end of the day, we need that at the moment to like. People can give it shit for all it is, but at the end of the day, it functions well and it is doing things to decentralize. And like, yes, it's a basic answer, but at the end of the day, that and I'd also say Monero. It's more privacy based, but at the same time, it is decentralizing another aspect that is necessary. Um, Other projects in terms of NFTs, that's a hard one. Like, you have things like nouns that are definitely on the forefront of what they're doing in terms of decentralized, being a decentralized project compared to most, because like most projects, you have a founder. It's a centralized bet on one person. There's nothing decentralized about it.
Makes sense. Okay,
Um,
so you sorry, maybe I cut you out. So you were talking about Ethereum, Monero, and about NFT projects. You name norms DAO, and maybe you have other thing that you may reference to.
Other thing is in like what nouns are. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah. Nouns being a DAO. Sorry, I should. Sorry, for my ignorance. But yeah, no. The fact that nouns is a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization, which means that they have proposals, put up by holders, and then are voted on by other holders. It allows for the holders, to essentially govern the whole system, and new people come into the system every day.
Okay. And our norms have solved the issue of, because when you have DAO and there is a governance around holders, right? You have to solve the issue of, some holders not being as active as others. You have a snapshot and you have to make a decision. Let's say that let's pretend that it's a quick decision. Our norms is solving the fact of taking a quick decision and involving all the holders that own a governance token.
I would say that they've done a reasonable job at it, Robert. But at the same time, right, there are other problems. Like, there are a range of not problems, but just issues that arise still in a DAO, such as nouns, such as the fact of that someone can easily be delegated multiple nouns, and it means that they can easily control a vote. So, like, yes, the quick decisions is not a hard one. Hasn't been too hard in my opinion, or at least from what I've seen of theirs. They've done a decent job of that. But yeah, in terms of being controlled by one entity, it can easily be taken advantage of, potentially.
Okay. Your mic was chopping off a little bit, so I don't know if anything have changed on your side, but I get the most of what you just said. All right. And but basically, what is the thing that impress you the most about either non-DAO or Monero or Ethereum? What are the things that impress you the most?
What impresses me the most is the range of, not the range of features, but the ease of access, period. The fact that anyone can use these tools. Like, nouns isn't just a DAO, it's the fact that they have provided accessibility of governance to anyone, in the sense that now anyone can come along and build their own DAO. ETH has given access to anyone to easily transfer funds, as well as Monero has easily given access to people to be private. This ease of access, this freedom, not just freedom to transact, but this freedom to have access to anyone, I think is what is like so vital for decentralization, and being able to take that into your own hands, and the fact of like also being open source.
Okay, makes sense. So it's the access, the usage, and the fact that it's open source. If I have to summarize what you just said.
Yeah, plus the simplicity, I would say.
Okay. Yes, simplicity as well. Okay. And basically, would you say that in your perspective, when you are looking into something new on the ecosystem, if that thing new don't have the 4 criteria that you just express, would you say that, or you picture that as a red flag for you? Like if it's not easy to access, if all the things that you just express about Ethereum, nodes, and Monero, if you don't have the same core criteria on something new, would you say that it's a kind of red flag for you?
If it doesn't meet those standards,
yes, it's that.
I wouldn't call it a red flag for me anymore. I'd call it I'd put a question mark next to it, as in, why are you not doing this? As in,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but that would be the trigger for a set of questions, right? And it's like if the other side cannot reply to it, at that point that it's strange, right?
Oh yes, completely. It's strange, but at the same time, not to be anti-decentralization, but like seriously, the amount of things that are not like, you look at Yuga, you look at all these other blue chip NFTs.
I know.
You can't I don't like it, and it's not like I wouldn't call it a red flag. I just call it that it's not decentralized. Period. Like, we need to call things what they are.
Yeah, it's that, and that leads me to my initial point, which is the more I look into the marketplace, and the more, when I say marketplace, it's more like the ecosystem. I will not say that I have a full picture of it, but at least with my small lens, the thing that I see, it's centralized, built on top of decentralized.
It can definitely feel like that at times, and it definitely has. The issue with that, though, is like I said, it doesn't solve all the problems.
In which sense?
In building decentralization on top of centralization, there is governance and mainly governance that isn't being solved, as well as like you could, in the sense that like there are things like IRL things that can't be decentralized by the system that's currently built.
Okay. Do you have any thought about what you just said? Like some kind of ID. Did there was
any kind of idea of how to?
Yes, because here you express some things that we cannot do yet, or we cannot do today, And my question is just to know, maybe you don't have, but just to pick on your brain.
No. Sorry. To that point, Robert, I would say and that's where we need to move to some kind of post-decentralized version of a DAO that isn't completely decentralized and is, like you're saying, built on top of a centralized system, is building some kind of multi-layer governance protocol that allows for these systems to integrate with each other.
Okay. But just because I maybe there is a little confusion. I just want to clear it, but maybe it's me that didn't understood well. When I'm saying I see centralization built on top of decentralization.
Centralization built on top of decentralization.
Yes, it's that. When I say that, it's for me to say to you that, the bottom line of Ethereum is to have decentralization. But when I look some project, for me, it's centralized on top of decentralization. So what is the point of being on decentralization thing? So it's more that I want to discuss before.
Oh my God.
Know?
Yeah, no. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said the.
Yes, you flip the thing, but it's why. Yeah.
All good. Yeah, no. At that point, like, there's still point to be on a decentralized blockchain such as Ethereum. There's still a point, and it's still a valid reason. It's still a valid thing in the sense that you still have that freedom to transact. However, at the same time, like, you do have to do like risk management essentially with this and see, like, is it actually of issue per se that this thing's centralized? Like, at the end of the day with these kinds of things, there's only so much you can pull. However, like, do we really need, are these things actually helping this decentralized thing called Ethereum move forward? Are any of these centralized protocols or projects actually of use? Like, yes, they are, but like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, they still have some use, I would argue, per se, Robert.
Okay. And on the ecosystem, who can, if it is, did there was anyone that influenced your thought about, decentralization, socialism, all this stuff? Did there was a kind of, let's say, not leader, but, someone that you are looking up to?
Yeah, there's a number of philosophers who I've read studies from, such as, like, I think his name's Robert Niche or something. Yeah, something like that. And then there's also, like, people like Bernie Sanders, and then also 6529, of course. And yeah, mainly it's mainly coming from a range of philosophy studies, but then also, yeah, people like 6529. Also another Aussie, shout out to Clouded, who's also a decentralization maxi.
Could you say it again? I did not pick the name.
Clouded. He's also another decentralization maxi who's on Twitter.
Okay, I didn't know that handle. Okay, I will look into it. Okay, so now basically where my brain is going, it's to talk about CC0 versus copywriting and meme.
Yeah.
So what can you say about first CC0 versus copywriting in your perspective?
In my perspective, it's so much. It will be so much more healthy if everything is CC0 in terms of art. Like, at the end of the day, everything in the NFT world we've seen has been a derivative. it all is derivatives. It allows for this natural evolution. It allows for people to take things and adapt them and manipulate them, similar to memes. And it's very much, sorry if I'm jumping the gun on this, it's very much like memes in the sense that memes adapt over time, and the ones that are good stay around because people keep using them and people keep evolving on them, and they're relatable per se. So the profile pictures or the art work or the pieces of art that are relatable will stick around. Like we've seen with checks recently, that was really influential per se.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, I get what you mean. And basically, when I asked you the question, I anticipated that you were going that route, where it's like everything should be CC0, So it's kind of, it's logical based on you being EV on decentralization, because if I'm asking the same question to someone that it's not that deep on it, you will say, yes, CC0, it's great, but at the end, or I'm going to protect my art, and that would be like it's clearly not the same mindset, the same approach of things, and yeah. Would you say that one should take over another, or may everything should be a possibility?
Can you say that? Sorry, I couldn't understand that one, Robert.
So what I'm trying to say, it's do you picture a world where everything must be CC0, or do you picture a world or either CC0, copyrighted or licensing, whatever, or a world where everything can live all together?
I see a world where not everything needs to be CC0. Stuff can be trademarked, but like there's trademark is not an art, is not what you call artwork at that point. But yeah, I won't get into that whole thing because I'm not a legal person. But back to your question, yeah, I see a world. I look personally, I do see a CCO society, preferably. But at the same time, I know that there are some things that can't be completely CCO, or that it makes sense to have different levels. Because with CCO, there isn't just CCO, there's also other versions that allow the holder to have more control. Okay.
And in your perspective, what would be one example of something that cannot be moved on CC0? If you have to name an example.
Oh, something that shouldn't be CC0?
Yes.
A logo per se. A logo. So a logo not being like, say, my profile picture, but say a logo with my profile picture with like, or like your Robert spotlight. That is something that you have technically commercial. You should have commercial right over.
Okay, makes sense. Perfect. Moving on meme.
Yes.
What is your because you make the transition before regarding the extraction of ID and everything. At some point, it's a derivative because you inspire you have some inspiration based on your ecosystem, based on the people that you follow, maybe, or maybe since to your parents, since to your teacher, since whatever. But at some point, it's to say that at the end of the day, every art it's a derivative of something that you have seen somewhere, right? So the idea was to say that technically every artwork it's a derivative, right? And how would you describe a meme?
What is a meme? A meme is art, and art is a meme. That would be how I describe a meme, Robert.
Okay, and so how would you describe why meme have this a particular aspect of being viral? You know, either being viral or being something that people stick around.
What makes a meme viral? Relatability is really one thing, and ability to connect, but also ability to for it to people to understand it per se, and it to easily translate per se, so to have a range of different ways that people can easily use it in different conversations. So if a meme goes viral, if it has a range of ways that it can be used to communicate with, so it's not just like about one topic, it can like translate across different eras.
It's generic.
I wouldn't call it generic, but it's able to break those bounds between different generations.
Okay, so it's not only generation, but it's also about the area of discussion.
Correct.
Okay. All right, but so one way to describe a meme as well, without using any word, a way to express meme, it's like a culture, right? Because a culture, it's like how people are going to behave when nothing is written.
Did you say it's like a culture?
Yes, it's like
it's a way to capture. It's a way to easily capture culture in a relatable sense that is either related to events, people, or places.
Right. Okay. Perfect. So I don't know how meme fit on the decentralization, but basically it's the conversation lead me here. I'm going to pull up some tweets. So the first thing, because I saw a tweet that you have made when someone said, "Oh, I feel offensive," and maybe I'm not going to quote you well, but your tweet was, "You are not in Web3 if your profile picture isn't an NFT." Did I quote you? Did I quote you right?
Yes. It was a bit of a stab at certain types of people coming from LinkedIn.
Yes.
But there's definitely a sense of us and them in a sense, or not us and them, but like it's definitely a sense of separation.
Mm-hmm.
And that like people who here you're more. It's not about who you are. It's about what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, get it. I get it. Perfect. And did there is any kind of feedback that you received that surprise you or make you reconsider your statement? Did there is anything that lead you push you on this way?
No, nothing. Oh, look, there was one tweet in response to it that did make me not question it, but definitely made me reconsider some of it. Let me get it up. By Roberto or RPN.
I like basically when you try to pull up the tweet, I like to ask this kind of question because when you look with another perspective, you may see things differently, right? And I'm pretty sure that you you didn't have a bad intent when you put up that statement. It's just that you wanted to make a point. But when I ask a question of did something make you reconsider your point, it's try to push the discussion around what are the things that I didn't consider, that I may not have considered.
Yeah, and that may have been the fact of like that in a mainstream audience, it may not appeal to them as much. But like I think, what do you call it? I see potential that that with a PFP you can still break those bounds. That there's a potential for someone to relate to other people with a PFP.
Okay, perfect. Did you find the things that push your boundaries? I thought that you talk about Roberto or something.
Yeah, no, Roberto had mentioned some stuff about just about relating to normies. Not nothing that pushed me my bounds per se. There was one response that was like fully from this guy called Brand God, which is a complete meme. Saying like what do you call it? NFT PFPs are dead, and it's like you're only ugly people and cult members use them, and I'm like, all right, that's a little interesting.
All right. The next thing that I want to talk about, it's another tweet when you ask what a Web3 content house look like.
Yes.
Yeah. So in your perspective, what would be what that look like, and also based also on the replies that you received.
What it would look like to me would be a house of unique individuals who all are creating content around Web3 or using Web3 technology to enhance their stuff.
Okay.
That would all have that would all be pushing each other forward per se. They'd be working together.
Okay. Makes sense. I got you. I didn't catch the question like this at first, but now that I have your explanation in real time, that click, and that make me go directly on asking a question, which is, but even for me, it's kind of asking the question on, could you spend one day using only Web3 technology?
Could you spend only one day? Oh, 1 day a week, or
yeah, 1 day. It's like a challenge, because based on the things that you just said, it's like unique individuals trying to push the boundaries for Web3. To push the boundaries for Web3, it's like you have to be a user at some point.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool challenge, having to require that you use Web3 to survive for a whole day. Now, I don't
Yes.
know how that would go in some area. I know there's a local ATM that has Bitcoin, so I am covered in terms of that. But like
Yes.
otherwise, it would definitely be. I think that's definitely a challenge, a real challenge.
Yes, but that would be funny, because even for us, I'm a part of it. It's like that may also you in, are you real about this thing, or it's just like some part of it it's real, because if you are forced to do something that may expose, like most of the time you are not doing it, right?
Yeah. In terms of real content, that's what you're asking at, correct?
No, in fact, what I want to say, it's if, for example, let's say, let's call that day the Web3 day, right? And it's like a challenge that we let's say I try to push that challenge over, Twitter, Discord, whatever, but
Yeah.
to force people active on the Web3 to kind of grab the definition of where are you fully Web3 and where you are not fully Web3, right? And what I try to express is force yourself to do that may expose also all the time when you are not using a Web3 and you may use it, So it's like saying it's a big brainstorming about, okay, or
completely.
I'm using Web3 instead of, another technology.
It definitely would be a great brainstorm to find where the gaps are.
Mm-hmm. So it's okay. So that led me here. Your last thought that led me here. I don't recall what was it, but it's where I went direct. Oh yes, it was about the content, the Web3 content house looks like.
Yes, the content house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. It's funny. Did you see any kind of a challenge like this before, or at least if it's not like this, did you see before anything that may look like that?
Like trying to spend like a content house, or like the challenge that you're talking about?
Both.
Yes to both. I've seen people challenge themselves to use Bitcoin before, not in like a whole day basis, but definitely to go around and use it in general areas as like a YouTube video.
Okay.
And then a content house, like in terms of Web3, not so much. Web2, definitely. Web3, there's a lot of talk about them. No one's actually done it yet, really.
Okay. Perfect. Great. All right. Would you? I saw also a tweet that you have done, where basically it was a layer of Aussie people, right? And there is a top layer, layer 1, layer 2, etc. Do you recall that thing when you put some PFP on it?
Yes,
Yes. and then I saw some reaction about that tweet where I don't recall who did that, but basically it was like a meme about someone kind of being sad because he was missing on that picture. So my question is when you put that tweet, after it, did you have been able to meet other Aussie people in the Web3 ecosystem?
Yeah, so essentially after that tweet was the announcement for a spaces that we had for an Aussie space. So then we connected with a bunch of Aussies. But like the ones that I'd put in there were ones that I already knew. I have a bunch of connections around Australia. And yeah, so they were all a part of it. So that was great. And then we had other people on and come up. So yeah.
All right. In your actuality, what is odd on your actuality?
What is odd on my what?
Basically, on your last news, what is going to happen? In the February for you, Posty?
That's a good question. I am currently actually working on a bit of an event, Robert. An event for artists and tech people to come together and not just network, but actually create cool shit. So that's happening, and then I'm also planning a few other things.
What is the name? What is the name of that?
You'll have to follow my Twitter for that one.
Okay. But that means that so that means that it's not published yet, right?
Sorry, it's not.
That means
yet,
that
no.
yes, it's that because I've done my homework and basically I've looked into your Twitter account and I didn't see anything like this. So it's why I knew that it wasn't already up there.
Giving you some alpha, Robert.
Okay, perfect. So that is the first thing. And what is the other thing? Because I cut you out, sorry.
Oh yeah. Other thing is also I'm just working on a few other events. Plus working. I'm building an application out at the moment.
An app doing what? Sorry if you just say so.
An app to connect with other people.
Okay. All right. Did there is any more things that you can disclose, or it's kind of?
It's kind of what do you call it? Let's keep it at that for the moment.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I will assume that the next step it's on your Twitter. So people need to activate the notification bell, I believe.
Yeah, they'll have to activate the notification bell, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Are you going to some event in Australia? Did you attend any event before?
Yeah, I was at NFT Fest.
Okay, Australia.
Year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think I'm attending NFT Melbourne.
Right.
Have you been to? Do you go to many events, Robert?
I went, but Australia it's kind of far for me because.
Fair enough.
In Europe, but yes, I did. So some event in Paris and VCon as well.
Oh, you went VCon? Oh,
yes, VCon was it was a crazy experience because it was it's kind of a business event and in the same time it's a festival. At the same time it's experiences. At the same time it's it was a lot of things all together, and it was kind of wow. It was a big experience, something to live. Yes.
hopefully I can. Maybe I'll have to go next year.
Yes, and a question because later today, in 1 hour. Maybe I'm going to not maybe, but in 1 hour after your interview, I'm going to interview Amiroz Goudet, which is the head of operation of Blockchain Australia. And that is the things that you said. The NFT NFT Fest Australia.
Oh yes.
All right. And my question for you is, do you have any kind of not advice, but it's like you have been in the attendance of that event last year, and she is the head of operation. And my question is, could you provide any feedback that you think that may be a good feedback to give to have that event even better than last year?
That's a good question. Two things I would say to that is one, accessibility. Two would be
I just lose your audio, Posty. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Accessibility as well as ease of access. In this ease of access in the sense of not having everything everywhere all at once.
Could you hear me, Posty?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So I was saying sorry because I believe that my smartphone it's lagging because sometimes I lose your audio, but I believe that the issue is on my side. So may I ask you to say again what you just said about the two feedbacks that you may provide to Ami?
Yeah, so the two feedback points that I was just mentioning beforehand was accessibility. So just accessible to more people is really the main one, Robert.
But also, are you saying that in a money way, in a
it doesn't have to be
logistical
that.
way?
Both. It can be either. It can there's a lot of things that could be done. But also the other thing I was saying beforehand was ease of access. So not having as many things on all at once.
Oh, okay. So just for me to be sure to understand exactly what you are referring to. So on the easy access, it's more like me. I picture that a lot of talk was going on, and it's kind of you don't know where to go. Did it that thing, or did I completely? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the more accessibility, you say that it's a logistical thing, a pricing thing. Did I get it right or?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Great. All right. I'm going to pull up a feedback of Abhishek thing. So it was about something that we talked before, and he say if you don't have an NFT as your PFP, you are not going to make it, basically. So it's
damn right. That guy is on the money.
This guy, it's on Posty team, So I just put up his tweet. It's a comment on YouTube, and So okay, I get it. And basically, thank you for your time. One last question before ending the show. It's regarding decentralization. What are the things that you know right now that you wish that you knew in 2020?
Oh, what did I wish I knew in 2020? I wish I knew more about crypto in 2020. Period. In terms of decentralization, I wish I understood it earlier.
Okay, perfect. And so to kind of a little follow-up, now you know it better. What have you done to know it better? It's like me. So I think that you get my point of my question. It's like, what did you learn? And the follow-up question, it's how did you learn that? And like this, it's like if someone is going to watch the replay of your interview, is going, okay, if I want to learn that, I'm going to go here directly. So where did you learn this thing, Posty?
I learned things from mainly YouTube, from people talking about crypto, or not talking about crypto, but more so talking about the fundamentals. So things like channels like Finematics, but also it wasn't just from YouTube. It was also being in Twitter Spaces and actually having conversations with people, and then also Discord.
All right, perfect. So thank you for your time. Thank you for all the insight. You give a little alpha. So if people want to know more, they have to activate the notification bell on Twitter, on your Twitter account, Posty. And thank you, Abhishek thing. So I hope that I say your name correctly. Thank you for the interaction. I say hello to the YouTube live watcher and the Twitch. There is one person on Twitch. So I say hello. I saw you. I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation that was around decentralization Sean, I'm not saying the word that you put on your Twitter because I cannot say it. Maybe you can say it, Posty.
Oh, post decentralization.
No. It's it's ending with ism.
Oh, wait. Oh, post decentralizationism.
Yes, it's that. So I
Yes.
leave it to you, and the focus of the discussion was here. So I hope that people are going to learn a little bit more about what decentralization is about, what to think about, what to with the 4 criteria that you have given before, that can be seen as, did this thing it's really decentralized in this way? And so it was a fun conversation, and I hope that you enjoy it.
Yeah, no, thank you for this. It's been fun.
Thank you very much, and I see you later on Twitter looking for the alpha of Posty. Bye, Posty.
Bye, Robert. Thank you.